Well, there you have it. Madison Keys through to the second round. She takes out the seed. 3 women's seeds have already gone out in the third round. She'll take on Barbara Lepchenko, who defeated Samantha Stozer in that tight match last night. But coming up next, it's Australia's James Duckworth. He takes on the Frenchman in Gilles Simon.
Ladies and gentlemen, men's singles action now. Would you welcome to Pat Rafter Arena from France, Gilles Simon. And his opponent from Australia, James Duckworth.
A huge round of applause for young James Duckworth as he makes his way out to Pat Rafter Arena. These two have played once before, and it was on this very court, 2012. Simon won that match, but Duckworth has become a lot more experienced. Qualified twice for the French Open and Wimbledon. How will he fare today? We'll be back with live action from the Brisbane International.
Well, first of all, Happy New Year. I think it's nice to say so. 3-tab set, 6 balls in play, 7-9. Net device, we do have a Hawkeye and TV changeover. So please be very clear to me if you ask for the challenge. And as we said before, if we have kind of a rain coming in, just stop straight away. I come down and check. I don't want anybody to get injured, okay? Any questions? What would you like?
Heads.
Tails, sure. You serve.
Gilles Simon winning the toss and electing to serve. A former world number 6 taking on one of Australia's rising stars in James Duckworth. Going to head down to the commentary booth where we have Hamish McLaughlin alongside of Jeff Masters.
Thanks very much, Todd, and Happy New Year to you and to all of the viewers around Australia. Hope you have a safe New Year, and Happy New Year to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Hamish. Yeah, it's good to be here again, isn't it?
It's Brisbane International Day 2, which is terrific. We've got an Australian, a Frenchman, and an Italian. It sounds like a joke. We're about to walk into a bar somewhere, and it's been a wet morning so far.
It has been a wet morning outside, but fortunately, under the roof here on Pat Rafter Arena, we'll... unlikely to have any delays unless the wind is really blowing rather strongly. Looking forward to this. James Duckworth, a young man that he's come a long way in the last 12 months or so, qualified in 3 of the majors in 2014. He's at his highest ranking of 125. And speaking to his coach a little earlier, he's got no points to speak of coming off in the next 3 months or so. So likely to get into the top 100 at least in the foreseeable future.
And Gilles Simon, we saw James Duckworth play Gilles Simon in the round of 16 back in 2012 together. Was coming off James's win against Nicholas Mahou, where he trailed love 4 in the first and got through for his first ATP win. And he got beaten by Gilles in the second round in straight sets. So they've only met the once, and it was here on this court a few years ago. So great opportunity for James. And as you said, there is that 6 players from an Australian flag point of view between 100 and 200 trying to make the next step, and we'll talk a little bit about that and who looks the most likely, but James looks really fit at the moment.
He does look fit. I think that's an area of his game that he's always been quite diligent about keeping under control. His game is quite explosive. He likes to come forward. He's got a big serve, likes to do a lot of top spin on the serve, so I think we're going to see him serving and volleying quite frequently here this afternoon, certainly against Gilles Simon. He's going to need to take it to him, because Simon is very, very consistent from the back of the court, a former number 6 in the world, and nothing flashy about him, but boy, is he hard to beat. Always, as I said, very consistent, gets the ball into play consistently, and is very good with his passing shots. So this is a good matchup.
And James had that elbow surgery for the second time in February last year, and speaking to people around the place, he's seemingly 100% over that.
Yeah, again, according to his coach, or Coach Ben Mathias, who's travelling with both Sam Groth and James at the moment. He's very happy with his workload. So, yeah, I think he's going to give a really good account of himself.
We're going to quickly whip back over to Perth. We saw Serena Williams in trouble in the first set. Well, she's dropped the opening set 6 games to love. But have a listen to this. This was at 5-love when things were a little bit flat. She had a discussion with the umpire. So Serena Williams feeling so flat that she thinks she needs a coffee. She's asking the umpire, is it illegal for me to get an espresso? So apparently not. The espresso's out onto court, and we'll see as we keep up to date with the scores in Perth whether the espresso can make the difference for Serena. Once again, she dropped the opening set 6 games to love at the Hopman Cup.
Time, ready to play.
So Jeff Hugh is wanting an espresso.
She was. I hope it's not a triple shot, because that might put her over the caffeine limit. But you know, it's a bit difficult when you come in from a long way away, a different time zone, etc. So that seems to be what Serena was experiencing.
I like the fact that she was, after, what is it, 17 years on tour or something, not quite sure of the rules, but what is allowed and not allowed? I mean, if she was dialing in a pizza, is that all okay? Could she order some sort of salmon from a corporate box? What are the limitations?
Yeah, well, that won't have any effect. But of course, drug requirements are strictly enforced these days. You can't have too much caffeine in your body, but I think one espresso is probably not going to do any damage.
Okay, back to this match. Gilles Simon is a nimble, crafty, neat, fast Frenchman around the court. The upside for James Duckworth is there's no overwhelming weapon, but the downside is there's no real weakness either. How do you see James attacking this match?
He's going to need to go after the Simon second serve. That's one of his only Achilles heels, perhaps. It's rather pushy at times, not a lot of margin. So James will need to really go after that second serve of Simon, and he's going to have to volley extremely well. So a good contrast in styles. Looking forward to it.
Love 15.
James, he's going to need to be patient, but the minute an opportunity presents itself that he can come forward and attack as arises here, in he goes. Very good approach shot, and he's strong overhead.
Love 14. Fifteen now, 14. Thirty, 14.
A couple of good first serves. An important stage for Simon.
Game, that's right.
Well, a bit of loose stuff from Gilles Simon. The perfect start for James Duckworth. Early break.
First game.
Well, it wasn't the perfect start last night for Australia's Sam Stosur. Tough match. She had match point and ended up losing. Let's hear what she had to say about the performance.
I don't necessarily think that tonight was a big, you know, mental capitulation. I didn't. I mean, I don't think it was. Obviously, different people are going to have their opinions, and that's fine. But I think if you were watching it and you were out there, again, like I said, she played very well. Really went for broke at that point in time, and of course, in hindsight, you wish you could do more. But I mean, on the whole, I'm happy with the way that I played. I certainly don't, you know, feel as bad about what happened tonight as some of the other matches I've lost from having match point or being in winning positions. So there's a lot of good things that I can take from tonight's match.
Well, plenty of good things, but it was not the start that Sam wanted for the summer. She rides on momentum, and she's going to have to try to pick it up before we get to the Australian Open. So disappointment as I pass you back down to Hamish and Jeff.
Jeff, what did you make of Sam last night? The headlines this morning up here in Queensland. Sam, a lot of talk about her fragility playing on these shores. It looks like she's going to struggle again this summer if last night was a sample of what is ahead.
Yeah, it was a difficult loss for her, if there's any such thing as a good loss, I suppose, but it was difficult.
It was 4-love, and then it was 5-1. A couple of opportunities to serve and close out the match, and without being too critical, you felt like you'd read the book before, you'd seen the movie before, and it came to life again. It was a hard way to start.
Yeah, look, it's really unfortunate. Sam is a lovely person. She's won a Grand Slam singles title, and we've got to keep that in mind and focus, I think, consistently on the positives. So, look, she'll get over this. We just need to be positive around her and help her through this, because she's been a great servant of Australian tennis, and wish her well. That's the side that Duckworth will play consistently. The forehand, that is, of Simon. It's not as strong as the backhand, and a good slice backhand from Duckworth, making life even more difficult for Simon. The slice staying very low, and Simon not comfortable. So good strategy from Duckworth so far.
That's perfect stuff. Consolidates the break, and the Aussie leads 2-love early going in the first.
Game, that's right.
Terrific start for young James Duckworth, and we'll see Victoria Azarenka, the two-time Australian champion, starting her campaign in Brisbane. It was a tough year last year, and she is ready to turn it around. She takes on Pliskova that tonight, followed by Bernard Tomic against the big serving Sam Perry. So much tennis coming your way from the Brisbane International.
Jeff, we talk about Sam struggling here in Australia. Bernard seems to reserve his best for the home crowds, the home courts.
Yeah, he's done well in Australia, hasn't he, Bernard? And I know he's been training exceptionally hard on the Gold Coast the months leading up to this Brisbane International, and apparently has been training exceptionally well. So
Let's for service.
Looking forward to seeing him in action tonight. Well, that's just perfect from Duckworth. It's all very well to have a plan of coming to the net, but you've got to make the decisions judiciously. So Duckworth here absolutely seizing the right moment to come forward, sees his opponent just stretching, and there he is in great position for an easy volley. Terrific stuff.
Well, Gilles Simon a little loose at the moment, not unhinged, but very un-Simon-like.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a bit typical. He's a slow starter always. In fact, he's been a former world top 10er. In that particular year, he had the best record of any player on tour when losing the first set to come back and win. So don't write him off at any stage.
Well, again, just a loose forehand and suddenly another couple of break points for the New South Welshman.
15.
Yeah, I love that slice backhand that Duckworth continues to go with to the Simon forehand. It's the brains trust of Simon. Had a very good end of 2014, Simon up in Asia. And he was very disappointed not to be part of the Davis Cup team that played in the final against Switzerland in December. His form in the end of 2014, he'll be hoping to carry through here into early 2015.
And so too James with his terrific form late in the year. He was the winner of 2 Challenger Tour titles in July and November. Well, the double break to the 22-year-old Aussie. He leads 3-love.
Any seats, thank you. Players ready.
Well, 9 minutes into this first round encounter, Duckworth 2 breaks. Well, with unforced errors from Simon now, Jeff, 8.
Yeah, it is very unlike Simon, but again, I think we've got to give credit to Duckworth. He's done his homework. The ball's going to the Simon forehand and lack of pace. And that sort of play, mixing it up so really well, is not allowing Simon to settle at all. So this has been a wonderful start. He always comes out with a plan, James Duckworth. There's a big kicker out wide, getting Simon way off court.
5 from 5. He is heading into the net and he's looking very comfortable out there at the moment. As you say, happy to chip, charge, come to the net, really vary things. And a love hole. So 4-love to Duckworth in the first.
That's what leads by 4 games to love.
Well, the start here resembling what happened at the start in Perth. We saw Serena ask for an espresso after dropping the first set 6-love. And I guess most of the players will now be calling for espressos instead of bananas because it's worked. She's taking the second set here. And there it is, 6 games to 3. Serena levels the USA against Italy. It is 1 set apiece in the opening match in Perth.
15 left. Left.
He was inspired in his youth, Simon, by the success of Michael Chang. Always said he realised then that you didn't need to necessarily be a big man to succeed.
He was a really slow developer, wasn't he? He's now 6 foot, but
there's not a lot to him, is there? He's not your typical tennis player build. He's long and lean, but not a lot of bulk. But boy, he's a tough competitor.
This is inspired stuff at the moment from Duckworth. Simon might be making some errors, but Duckworth is playing terrific tennis.
Well, again, another good foray into the net and a crisp volley. You need to be very crisp on this surface. You need to get the ball really moving away. A good split step coming underneath the volley to get some bite and slice on it. It's terrific stuff. That's exactly the sort of point that Gilles Simon likes to play. Likes to get into the protracted rallies, and it's going to be interesting to see. There it is, a 17-shot rally. If Duckworth can prevent those long rallies from occurring too often.
Well, again, just an easy miss and the slice against the Simon backhand, seemingly working, Jeff.
Yeah, look, you can see how he's really cutting down from high to low under the ball, taking all the pace off the ball, keeping it low, trying to force Simon to make his own pace. Excellent strategy.
Well, suddenly another break point for a triple break in the first.
Just expanding on that thought, counter-attackers like Simon like pace coming to them. To force them to make their own pace is getting them out of their comfort zone.
Deuce.
I know this is the first round of the Brisbane International and Gilles Simon has done so much, but for James Duckworth these moments are rare. A wild card into the draw, plays very few main draw matches at ATP level.
These big moments for the young man, 125 in the world, and he's been around there between 100 and 200 for a couple of years. He needs to make that step up into the top 100, and these are big opportunities. I mentioned earlier that he's got no ranking points to speak of, much to come off in the next few months, so these are important weeks and months ahead.
Just wide, so Simon holds 4-1 in the first. Tony Roach on the phone, just checking how things are at home, hoping the garden's getting the rain, and let's hope some of the fire-affected areas start getting some rain. Well, terrific stuff in the end from Duckworth. He's got a couple of breaks. He's had 6 break points. He's won 2 of them. And we're getting to the business end of the first set against a former world number 6, Gilles Simon, the 6th seed here at the Brisbane International. Duckworth a wild card.
Well, it's not the most powerful serve in tennis, but he gets terrific work on the first serve. Kicks the ball wide to the backhand in the second court. Gets his opponent off the left side of the court, which of course opens up the right side, and he's using that strategy to perfection.
This is a really important service game, obviously, and it's going well so far. If you could close out here, he's got a couple of opportunities following this to serve for the set, at least. Well, neat return in the end, and just got James Duckworth on the back foot. The squash slap not able to get back into play, so still a couple of points to lead 5-1. 2 breaks already in his kit bag. Well, channeling a little Leighton, but
40,000.
It's getting pushed long, so Simon hangs in.
Mr. Simon challenging the call. On the right baseline, the ball was called out.
Oh,
wow. Cruel, Mr. Hawkeye, cruel.
And the crowd feeling it as well.
First service.
So they are replaying the point. As a player, when you're looking down quickly at the ball and where it lands, you get a good feel of it, and he would have felt pretty confident there, James, that it was long. Not to be.
Big miss, big point, big hole. James Duckworth, 5-1 in the first.
That leads by 5 games to 1.
Well, things are getting underway on court number 1 again. The showers have stopped, but there are still threatening skies. But for Jarmila Gajdasova, she is now serving for the first set. She came back out at 4-all, broke against the Chinese Zhang, and is trying to serve out the first set. We'll keep you updated on how she does with that.
Jeff, it's not often you see a couple of courts with roofs having play stop, but the rain was so severe coming from the east, and the rain so heavy that spectators were having to move, and it was coming through and over the seats and onto the court here at Pat Rafter Arena.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those days, but gee, all things considered, we're fortunate to have this centre court with a roof with open sides, as you mentioned, but a couple of outside courts as well with a cover over the top. This is a fabulous facility.
And Melbourne Park now, with Margaret Court Arena having that roof that's able to open and close so quickly. And I heard Craig Tarley saying that the whole of the Australian Open could almost be played indoors now if it had to. It's almost weatherproof. It's fantastic. Well, the father of two holds, and we come back. James Duckworth will be serving for the first.
That's what leads by 5 games.
James Duckworth serving for the first set against the number 6 seed here at the Brisbane International, and he's played this first set so neatly and so well. Gilles Simon has made some unforced errors, 14, but James Duckworth has played a variable game, Jeff.
He has, and serving here with new balls as well, which will help him. Just like that, a quick point is exactly what he's looking for, making the most of the new balls. This has been brilliant stuff from James.
14 love.
It was low percentage.
Yeah, at 5-2-40 love, I guess you feel, yeah, it's all going well. I'll give this a rip. Not sure what he's done here. Just spoke to the chair umpire after that shot. Not sure whether he rolled his ankle a little or asked for something specific. Anyhow, still set points.
Brilliant from Simon.
Well, that's why this man has been in the top 10. Look at the serve. Full stretch. Great return now from the other extremity. Absolutely perfect control.
Well, there it is, just like that. Big serve to the backhand of the Newcastle Knights fan. Closes out the first set, 6 games to 2. The 22-year-old Aussie is in it right up to his ears. Welcome back to the Brisbane International and to 7 Summer of Tennis. It's day 2 here. And the Pat Rafter Arena, Jeff Masters has seen some upsets. In fact, we're just going through the draw, and I don't think a favourite coming into any of these matches has had a win yet. Tomljanovic, Lepchenko, Keys and Kanepi, all winners so far. Against highly fancied opponents, and being a parochial and biased Australian, we're hoping the trend continues.
And so with that man on screen, that's Ben Mathias on the right of screen. He's the travelling coach now of James Duckworth, as well as Sam Groth. He's had great success with Sam Groth over the last 12 months.
Sam, of course, has drawn Leighton Hewitt in the first round, which will be terrific viewing.
It's the instinct of a really good net player. Sometimes you've just got to have an instinct, and he was in trouble then, but he read the play, knew where the options were possible, and he's covered this magnificently.
He had to wait and choose, and he could not have timed it any better. Well done. Out Gilles and Gilles.
Yeah, again, it was that slow sliced backhand to the Simon forehand that drew the error. Big moment this, and a big game, because we've spoken already, Hamish, about the necessity really of Duckworth to get this match done relatively quickly if possible, because Simon will thrive as the longer the match goes. Sensational.
Huge stuff.
Every aspect of that point was top class from both players. Wonderful attack, wonderful counter attack. At the moment, Duckworth with all the answers. Comes in at the right moment. This is a tough volley here. Takes all the pace off it, gets it short, has to climb. Good deep lob. Outstanding.
And some first set highlights, Jeff. I mean, it was inspired stuff early. It was a slow start from Simon, but as we've said, beware the laconic Frenchman. You're expecting him at some point to fire up, and Duckworth hasn't allowed him in the match yet.
Well, that's the real issue. He hasn't allowed him, as you said. He's just kept the pressure on. His tactics have been superb. He's been keeping the pace off from time to time. Then he's been serving and volleying, making very well-timed advances to the net. Great stuff.
Right now, he's got this match on his terms. Upper set, a comfortable first set, early break in the second.
That's Jan de Witt there in screen. He's the coach of Gilles Simon. He'll be rather concerned, to say the least.
Oh!
Look good, I think, Jeff.
Yeah, I think so.
Overruled.
You're right, actually. I'm honest, you're right.
Hard not to like the way James Duckworth is playing. I mean, we're excited about what the summer holds, and if all the Aussies can come out and play like this early in the summer, it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, it's fantastic. 14 winners in the match thus far for Duckworth. He's just done everything right.
We mentioned the Aussie. We spoke about Sam Groth and Leighton Hewitt. They play each other tomorrow night on 7-2, Pat Rafter Arena. We've also got Bernard Tomic and Sam Cleary tonight. Marinko Matosevic and Steve Johnson, the American, who had such a big year last year. And John Millman, the ever-popular Australian recovering from injury. He plays a qualifier. Then Thanasi Kokonakis next on Pat Rafter Arena.
You can keep playing with 4 balls. No, 2 there and 2 there. 4. I have no idea. Now we keep playing. We check after.
Not sure how many you really need. 4 is plenty. Well done, Duckworth. He holds a set and 2 love.
Well, good things happening out on Pat Rafter Arena. Amazing point, and good things happening out on show court 1 for Jarmila Gajdosova. She needed a wild card to get into the tournament, but her form has turned around over the last 6 months. And she took the opening set 6 games to 4. And the live score is she leads 2 love in the second set. So an early break for Gajdosova, the winner of that match, to take on Ana Ivanovic, who had a first round bye in the second.
15 love.
Thinking about James Duckworth wanting more than 4 balls. I remember jumping onto courts that we hadn't paid for with stolen balls as kids.
Oh, did you do that?
Quite a lot. 2 balls back then was terrific.
I love this play from Duckworth. I mean, on that occasion, the short slice, bringing Simon forward where he doesn't want to be. This has been an abject lesson in wonderful strategy. You can see Simon there doesn't have the same net instincts, so this has been an outstanding performance from Duckworth.
Well, if you said one player was 21 in the world and the other was 127, you'd be surprised when you were told that it is as it is.
This is right at the make or break stage, you feel, in this match. If Duckworth can get a second break here, his chances are exceptionally good. Which seems obvious, but Simon, he's so dangerous. He never goes away, and if he hangs on here, he'll feel like he's still in with a chance.
Such a big point coming up right now. Big point at 30 all, huge point right now. Double break, 3 love in the second on offer. Take that back.
Game Simon.
Simon holds. I was looking at the scoreboard here at the arena, which they just reversed. Simon holds.
Duckworth leads by 2 games to 1.
He's got the break in the second. First set in the bag.
Can we get 1 ball, please?
The serving continues, and Jeff, we had at that sit down, just some more balls come out, and James Duckworth very keen to get more balls on the court.
Yeah. Good reactions there from Simon. Yeah, a player like Duckworth, he's more aggressive, so he wants some good pace on the balls. And he mentioned earlier that there are only 4 balls out there, which means they'll wear more quickly, won't have as much life. So at the change of ends, the umpire found 2 extra balls with approximately the same wear as the balls on court are at the moment. So they now have 6 balls in use, all of the same wear.
15-13.
Well, we mentioned not long ago that last game when Duckworth had 2 love, 15-30 was an important stage, and as we suspected, Simon got through it, and now he's looking to make a break again as we hear this rain thumping down on the roof, don't we?
It is heavy now.
Oh, good judgment.
What's interesting, Jeff, about this rain, I was watching the Keys Sipakova match, and as the rain came down, it got so loud it was actually very hard to hear the ball being struck, and some players are really affected by that, losing that sound of what the other player is doing and how they're hitting the ball.
Yeah, it can be a little disconcerting, and this is disconcerting, this score at the moment. It's just as we suspected. It was a big moment a couple of games ago. Simon is just digging deep, a chance to tie things up in this second set here now.
Second serve set up that point. The miss from Simon. So back to juice as the rain eases off a little.
Interesting shot here from Duckworth. He's changed his grip and come up with a cross-court slice. Just watch Simon here. He just niggles his leg a little. I think there's nothing too untoward, but what a change-up and a brave shot from Duckworth at a critical stage.
Second serve, Jeff, really setting things up. So much bite out of the court surface.
And on top of that, it's the first time he's served and volleyed off a second serve. So Simon very deep in the court, certainly not expecting that. So that's just, again, wonderful strategy and really good thinking from Duckworth.
14 points, won at net from 16 forays forward for Duckworth.
Game.
Well, terrific stuff. Such an important hole. 3-1 in the second.
Service line, the ball was called in. Well stands. Mr. Simon has 2 challenges remaining. That leads by 3 games to 1.
Over in Perth at the Hopman Cup, Serena Williams, the espresso worked, got her back into the match, and she is racing away with it now to drop the opening set 6-love if you're only just joining us. And she takes the third against Flavia Pennetta by the same margin. So the USA go ahead 1-0. Up next at the Hopman Cup, it is the big serving John Isner against Fabio Fognini. That, of course, is live on 7mate.
Watching Fabio Fognini is like watching sort of an Italian soap opera. If you haven't seen Fabio play before, make sure you realise you can just slide over 7-2 and watch it. He is something else. Duckworth playing great tennis here in Brisbane. He's got the number 6 seed down a set and down a break in the second. And he's controlling, Jeff, this match right now. He's not getting spooked at all. He's continuing to play his shots. When he misses from going for the ball. He's not becoming inhibited.
Well, again, another terrific strategy. An aggressive shot off the second serve return and right up the middle of the court with the return, giving Simon no angle with which to work. It's brilliant. The stats keep getting better on the forays to the net, don't they?
Don't they? I mean, phenomenal. 16 from 18 times. He's won the point as he's headed towards the net. He's shortening the rallies, trying to, as you said earlier, not allow the rallies to become long and favour Gilles.
30-40.
Well, Simon, he's a quality player, and a couple of big serves, as the best players often do, are found when needed most.
I'm not a body language expert, Jeff, as you know, but I think even the best body language experts would find it hard to read a French tennis player, a male French tennis player. Well, suddenly another break for Duckworth. The window is ajar. Full stretch again, happy to push forward, grab inches in the court, Jeff, which I think you'll like.
Yeah, it was a terrific pass though from Simon, an expulsion of air from Simon after he makes this pass. He didn't try and overplay it, Simon. He just wanted to make this really difficult, make Duckworth come up with a very tough shot. Full stretch and low. That's too good from Simon.
Pressure ball's good. The one coming from the line. Duckworth trying to the call. Near side line, ball was scored in. That one coming from the line. First service. Advantage, Simon now.
It's a little hobble again, favouring that right leg after that serve. He's had some knee issues and knee surgery over the years. Well, he'll be frustrated at the moment, Simon, but that low sliced ball to the forehand is giving him some difficulties. Jan de Wit there again. Jan de Wit is so professional. He travels with terabytes of video of his opponents to help make strategies for his player. That's just perfect play. We spoke earlier about how he'd need to attack the Simon second serve, and this is the right moment. 3-1, juice, second serve. It was short. Duckworth all over it.
Well, it was a fourth break point, and he needed them all, but he gets the double break in the second. 4-1 Duckworth after winning the first 6-2. Well, he's got cameras pointed at him from all around the place at the moment, James Duckworth, and he leads 6-2. He's got a double break in the second, but he's still a long way from home, Jeff.
Yeah, he is a long way from home, but boy, it's been a wonderful display thus far. The strategy, the execution cannot be faulted.
Love it, that's it.
It's probably not the time to say that James has had a couple of matches where he's led 2 sets to love at best of 5 and been run down, but let's not put the mocker on him. He's been brilliant so far.
That's it.
Well, he's continuing to hit,
15
which is a good sign. But I mean, again, to put it in perspective, this is going to be close to the biggest win of his career if he can close this out.
No question. He led Gasquet by a couple of sets at Wimbledon this year, only to be run down. But Simon, a former top 10 player.
Continue to push forward.
13-14.
Forcing the error. 19 points won from 22. Approaches to the net, so it continues to work. It continues to be the strategy, and why not? Slightly mishit forehand allows Simon to find the line. A break back. It's still a break in favour of Duckworth in the second.
Still a long way to go for James Duckworth. And it is a start, though, for Leighton Hewitt as he takes on the big serving Australian who's come off a great year last year, Sam Groff. That will be in our coverage live tomorrow night on 7-2, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Leighton, can he defend his title at the Brisbane International?
Loose ball from Simon. We've seen a lot of it now. I mean, that's unforced error number 22.
Yeah, that was an extraordinary miss there. He'd set the point up quite beautifully, Simon. And his favourite backhand, and missed by quite some margin. He's really giving Simon some extraordinary variety. Simon here running to cover to the open court. Duckworth goes back behind him, just totally keeping the Frenchman off balance.
Oh, this is terrific stuff. Again, really crisp volley, and then the put-away smash. 3 break points to go 5-2 in the second.
Brave from Simon there, from deep behind the baseline at love 40. It was sort of make or break shot. It's really where he's at the moment, Simon. He's hanging by a thread. Just has a tendency from time to time to get a little short with the finish on the forehand. Brushing up too quickly, getting a lot of spin and not enough penetration there. He's shown what he should have done. Just hit through the ball a little bit more. 2 break points saved. 1 left. Coach Mathias looking implacable.
Terrific start. Wonderful forehand deep. Allowed him to come in. Another break. I reckon Ben Mathias might be a good poker player. He'll be turning inside. Duckworth will come back and serve for the match.
In there, yeah.
Well, a big moment for James Duckworth. He's serving for the match against former world number 6, Gilles Simon.
13 love.
It's been hard to fault so far, Jeff Masters. Everything he's done has worked very well. He's made very few errors compared to Gilles Simon, and he's attacked the net, and that's been his strong suit.
Well, everything has been impressive. We can't say enough about this performance from James Duckworth. It's all very well to have a plan, but to have the right plan and execute it as he's done has been quite superb. Oh, that's just rubbing salt into the wound. That was a tough shot, but he was able to take all the pace off the ball. A delicate half volley drop shot.
Bolts.
Well, there it is, just like that. 6-2, 6-2, Duckworth. He had a strategy, he came, he executed, and Gilles Simon is gone. And Duckworth, a big win for 22-year-old Australian.
Absolutely outstanding performance, really, from James Duckworth. Gilles Simon had a terrific end of 2014, as we've mentioned so many times, a quality player. And listen to the response from this Brisbane crowd. They know how good that was. And what a likeable young man he is as well, James Duckworth. So a lot of people are very pleased for him with that performance. Gee, I mean, he had guile, he had pace, and he had just the perfect strategy. Gilles Simon, he'll be walking off court here thinking, well, what just happened there? This man, Duckworth, 125 in the world, just put me to the sword. But Simon, he'll know that he was beaten by a better man. He'll be back for the rest of the summer. As James Duckworth collects everything that a player collects these days. They take the court with the rackets, the towels, the juices. And right now, Duckworth, his heart will still be pounding, because this young man, whose ranking currently sits at 125, will certainly take a jump. Let's hope he continues with this sort of form here in Brisbane the rest of the week. We're going to hear from him as he speaks with Hamish.
James, congratulations. That all seemed to go pretty well.
Yeah, thanks. It was a fun match playing out in front of everyone. Thanks for coming out. I really enjoyed it.
You guys played each other here in 2012. What did you learn from that? I mean, Ben Mathias looked like he was pretty poker faced throughout. He would have been very nervous, but what was the strategy coming in?
I knew I had to play aggressive. I had to play to my strengths, and I had a really good off-season, prepared well, and came out and played a pretty good match.
You've been up here for a lot of the off-season?
Yeah, I was up here training for the last sort of 7 weeks. We've got a great team up here, and yeah, had a really good preparation and showed today.
Tell us, you had the elbow surgery last year. How's the body now? Injury-free coming into the summer of tennis?
Yeah, it's been good to be able to get a full pre-season done. Haven't got any niggles right now, so hopefully I can stay that way the whole year.
2014 ended beautifully, a couple of challenger wins. The only downside was your Newcastle Knights were terrible.
I think we'll probably finish top 4 this year, so yeah, we're going to have a good season.
Right, and how'd you spend Christmas? What did you do to pass some time when you weren't hitting tennis balls?
Well, obviously I was up here training for the pre-season, and then I'm from Sydney, so I went back home and saw the family, and it was good just be around all my cousins and uncles and aunties, and yeah, it was fun.
Very good family Christmas. You got Jarko Nieminen or a qualifier. You win that comfortably. Then you play Roger or John Millman. It's all fun ahead.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully they put me on centre. Please, Cam, put me on centre for the next match. And yeah, it should be fun.
You'll be on centre next match. Well done. James Duckworth, he's through to the second round.
Well, there's plenty of stars here. He's going to be fighting for the centre court. There's Leighton, there's Roger, and he's, though, through to the second round. Great work from James Duckworth. Can another Aussie go through? Coming up next on Pat Rafter Arena, Thanasi Kokkinakis. He's cracked the top 150. He started the year in the 600s last year, and he takes on the world number 25 from France, Julien Benneteau. That's next.